Hello and welcome to the transcription explanation of this design. It was done using Loren Sherman's script, which uses a combination of dots and lines on these four different stems to make our consonants. And vowels are a bit trickier. They're these small circles, and they have different positions depending upon what vowel they are and if they're attached on one of these four consonant stems. So this is a deep divot or B stem, this is a circle inside the word circle or J stem, this is a shallow divot or T stem, and this is a circle on the line of the word circle or TH stem. So this is a nifty diagram showing all possible combinations of consonant and vowel teams. So if we take a look at this O here, an O is inside the word circle when it's by itself. And then if it's attached on a stem, it's like a bead on a string. So if we have a deep divot O, it looks like this. A circle inside the word circle O, it looks like that. A shallow divot O, it looks like that. And then a circle on the line of the word circle, it looks like that. So if we were to read this as a word, it would be like O, bo, jo, to, tho, because you read bottom counterclockwise, so there's some jadoon for you there. Anyway, so let's go ahead and hop to this design. So just like you read words bottom counterclockwise, to figure out your starting point on a sentence, it's also bottom counterclockwise. But if you imagine an infinitely large circle, the bottom of that circle would be at the left, and then you just continue to the right, and if it was infinitely large, it wouldn't ever curve up. So that's why on a linear layout, you read left to right, and within individual sentence circles, you read bottom counterclockwise. So you would read bottom counterclockwise here. This is one word in a sentence. This is kind of one-ish, two words in a sentence, but it's read bottom counterclockwise, one word, and then the last word, bottom counterclockwise, so this word before the punctuation. So anyway, here we have our phrase. Oh, and you link together the sentence circles in an order that loosely makes sense. So here we have a line, and it is a linear line. So you would read that left to right, like I explained earlier. So anyway, here we have our first kind of sentence circle. Here's the first word we hit, and the bottom of it, this is our first letter stem we hit, and it is a shallow divot, so in this row. And there is one big old dot. And dots are different than vowels because they're filled in. So this is one dot with this stem. So one dot, that stem is a WH. Continuing around here, we have an A. Then we have a T, shallow divot, no modifiers. So what? And then we have this word, bottom of the word circle. This is not a stem. This is just some line stuff happening on that S. Here's our first actual letter. It's got a line going towards the middle, and it's a vowel, so that would be an I. So I's have lines going towards the middle, whereas U's have lines going outwards. So I, and then we have this shallow divot, so we're in this row. 1, 2, 3 lines makes that an S, so is, and then we have this word, bottom of the word circle. Here's our first letter stem. It is a circle inside the word circle, and there's 1, 2, 3 dots by it, so that is an L, and then we have an I inside it. If ever there is a vowel enclosed in a consonant, you read the consonant first and then the vowel, so L-I. Continuing around the word circle, here we have a deep divot, so we're in this row, and there are this line passes through, so it doesn't count, 2, 3 lines, so these two thick ones and then that second thin one. So 3 lines on a deep divot is an F, and then inside that deep divot is an E, and even though it shows the E, I, and U being right in the middle of that deep divot, they could be anywhere inside it as long as it's not outside, because then it's an A, or on the line, because then it's an O. So L-I-F-E, so life. And then we have our next word here, bottom of the word circle, deep shallow divot. So this is a 50% completed circle, and a shallow divot is 50% or less completed. As soon as it starts to curve back in on itself, it is a deep divot. So a 50% leans towards shallow divot. So this is a shallow divot with 1, 2 lines on it. So this line here and this line here ending on it. This is just a sneaky line. It curves, lines can curve, whatever. But anyway, 1, 2 lines, and this third one passes through, so just 2 lines, so that is a W. I, line going towards the middle. Continuing around here, we have a shallow divot with nothing on it, so that's a T. Then we have a deep divot again with this line and that line ending on it. So this is the vowel on it, an O. And I tend to erase the lines behind vowels just to make them a little bit cleaner. It helps it also look a bit different than a TH stem. So anyway, this is the O on this consonant, and there's 1, 2 lines. So even though this is clearly one line, because it ends twice, that's what this is counting. So because it ends twice, it's an H. So H, O, and then U, line going outwards, and then we have another shallow divot with nothing on it because this line passes through it, and this line ends on the line, not on the stem. So it's important that this line ends on this thick line, not on the thin line. So withou, so without. A, here we have just the word circle, and then the A outside of it. So this is the word so without and then we have this fancy little word circle. So this one's tricky. I did a sneaky secret rule that is kind of in the FAQ bottom of the guide, where if you have longer words, you can split them up and put them with an outer word circle and an inner word circle. So we have an outer word circle and an inner word circle. So read outer to inner. So here we have our first letter. It is an L because it's a circle inside the word circle with 3 dots. So L. And then we have, this is just lines. Here we have an I, line going towards the middle and curving and doing some cool stuff. So I. Then we have a T, just like this T. So L-I-T, so lit. And then we have a T-L-E. Same L here is there and same T here is there. So little, so little. L-I-T-T-L-E. So little. And then we have this last word. Here we have the bottom of the word circle. Here we have a shallow divot with 1, 2, 3 dots on it. This dot is part of the same pattern, yes, but it is attached to this stem. So this dot and this dot are the 2 dots on this stem, so that would be a K at the end of the word, but this is our first letter. The dogs are breaking in. Darn dogs. Okay, anyway. 1, 2, 3 dots makes this an R, and then we have an I line going towards the dogs out. Sorry about that. 1, 2, 3 dots makes this an R, I, continuing around. Here we have a shallow divot with 1, 2, 3 lines, making it an S, and then that K I talked about at the end. So risk. And then we have inside our punctuation circles, which all these guys are, well, this is a line. These are lines. These are sneaky lines. This is a sentence circle. This is a sentence circle because they're not lines. And this is a sentence circle. But you would put punctuation on these lines or in these divots. And 2 dots is a question mark. So this sentence ends with a question mark, and that's that question mark here. So yeah, what is life without a little risk? Question mark. And sorry about the dogs invading. I hope me yelling didn't blow out your ears if there was your pieces in. And yeah, changing volumes are fun. But yeah, that's that explanation of this design. I hope it makes sense. Thank you. Bye.